This video is a quick start tutorial for the electrical panel schedule from EPS Software Solutions. The panel schedule tools are available on the ribbon under the Panel Schedule tab. To configure the project settings, open the Project Settings window by clicking on the Settings button in the Project group. Enter the project name and project number. The voltage drop can be calculated at 80% of the bus rating, typical for shell buildings, and this is the default, or at 100% of the bus design load, typical for buildings with built-out tenants. The bus AIC ratings can be determined from the calculated short circuit values, this is the default setting, or the bus AIC rating can be determined from 120% of the calculated short circuit values. The lighting load calculations at the main service can use the minimum VA per square foot values in Table 220.42a, this is the default setting, or using 220.42b, they can ignore the minimum VA per square foot values in Table 220.42a, and they will rely on the requirements of the governing energy code. Feeders, windings, and buses can allow aluminum, the default setting, or they can be restricted to copper only. Next, enter the overall project size. Change that here. Then, if you are using the NEC 220.42a table for the lighting load calculations, then you would enter the occupancy types and sizes here. For this example, we're going to use the energy code based 220.42b. So we'll disable these. And then select this option. Once complete, save the changes. Next, open the Bus Summary window by clicking on the Bus Summary button in the navigation group. This opens the Bus Summary window. You'll notice at the bottom it's got multiple tabs for each of the bus types that this software will support. Click on the main service bus in this list, and then click on the Display Configuration window to define the main service and the utility parameters for this project. In this case, we're going to select a 2000 amp main service with a 2000 amp main. This will give us a 16.63 VA per square foot for this service in the 100,000 square foot building we defined in the previous screen. Here you will define the available short circuit current available from the utility, and then you can define the feeder serving this service. Once you're complete, click Save. We're going to create a new branch panel board. To do so, you'll come down and onto the tabs at the bottom and double-click the Branch Panels tab to open the Branch Panel Board configuration window. We're going to call this panel H1A, and this will be located in the central plant. We're going to use a 40-volt panel using panel board construction. Bolt-on 225 is acceptable. Main lugs only. It's a new panel. It's going to be outside, so it's a NEMA 3R panel. We're going to go with the 84 circuits. It's going to be a surface-mounted panel, and we'll indicate that we have an integral SPD and door-in-door construction. Click Save to save these settings, and you'll now see that the panel H1A is showing up in this list of branch panel boards. Double-clicking on this bus in the list will open the branch panel board. To add loads to this panel, let's add a heating water pump, 5 horsepower, for this panel. Let's start by putting the load type in. The load types are defined over here next to the connected load table by these numbers along the left-hand side of the table. We're adding a motor load, which in this case is a load type 23. So we'll put the 23 in the load type column. Under the description, we're entering a heating water pump. I'm going to call it HWP-1. The load in VA for this pump, it's 5 horsepower, is going to be 2106 VA per phase, and it will be connected to a 20 amp 3-pole circuit breaker. Once that's connected, you can see that the load is automatically populated over here in the connected load table. All the way down, you can see what the total load on this bus, on this panel, is already. To connect this panel to an upstream source, which in this case we're going to use the main service, go back up to the navigation group, click on the bus summary button, go to the main service tab, and double click on the main service bus that we're wanting to connect to. To create a connection, come over here, either on the odd side or on the even side, put your cursor in a load type cell. Come up here to the navigation group and click on the Subfeed panel. That will open the Select Subfeed Bus. Select the bus from the list that you're wanting to connect. In this case, we want panel H1A. You can select the circuit breaker size feeding that panel. And you can define the feeder that is going to be feeding that panel. I am content with the information that is shown here, and I'm going to indicate that it is a 75-foot feeder. Once you're complete, select the Connect Subfeed Bus button to complete the connection. Here, you will see that the cells associated with the subfeed connection are now a medium yellow color. And you'll see that the loads have automatically been brought up to this source panel from the downstream panel. You can navigate back to the subfeed panel by having your cursor in the load type, one of the load type cells. Click on the subfeed panel, go to subfeed, and it will take you back down to this panel. The panel schedule is visible by clicking on the Toggle Input Schedule button in the navigation group, and it's automatically highlighted and ready to be copied into the drawings. You can return to the input screen by clicking on the Toggle Input Schedule button again, bringing you back up to the input screen. Because this panel is connected to a source, you can click on the Source Panel button in the navigation group, and it will automatically take you back up to the main service, which is the source panel for that H1A. Other schedules that can be copied into the drawings are found here in the Schedules group. If you have transformers, generators, transfer switches, and UPSs defined, these schedules will automatically be populated. They're automatically highlighted and ready to be copied into the drawings. Also available is a short circuit and voltage drop table. You can access that here from in the voltage drop AIC Calcs group by clicking on the AIC with Load Data button. This table shows the bus name, bus rating, and the load connected to that bus. It also shows the available fault current and the AIC rating for that bus. It also shows the voltage drop and the percentage of drop for each of the buses connected. To disconnect a panel from a source bus, in this case, we're going to go back to the main service MSA by double-clicking on that button on that bus. Position your cursor in the load type column for that downstream connected bus. Here you can click on the Subfeed bus in the navigation group. This time, click the Delete Subfeed option. Click OK, and that bus is disconnected, and you can see that the loads have been disconnected as well. You now have the basics and can start using the panel schedule. To learn how to use the other tools within this software to take full advantage of this software, please refer to the other videos in this series.